What's going on, guys? Cue the music, because we have a banger for you today, baby, says Tim the Tap Man. I haven't watched him in a long time. Anyway, we're racing Formula cars in Gran Turismo today. These are the Super Formula cars recently added, and they had a daily race. I actually can't remember which one it was. We're going to do our one and only quali lap, and then we got one race. I didn't have long today, so we're just trying to get something out. I wanted to try this. I know that the new daily race is coming out soon. So let's start our lap. Heading down into the first corner now. I really hadn't done anything here before this. Just hopped in and I decided to brake at about 100 meters. Probably could have braked a little bit later, but get through turn one nicely. And there's a slight kink there. Fuji being a track that I've driven probably about 5 total hours of in the Manufacturers Cup from about 3-4 months ago at this point. I did pretty well in, so I know this track and I know where to brake in a GT3 car, but not necessarily a Super Formula car. Now there, I actually really just don't place the car well around this track, and it's weird because I've been driving a lot of GT3 or GT2, and it's struggling to adapt to the Super Formula. Now once again, guys, we do not have audio. Now once again, braking just way too late or way too early into the chicane. And that is easy to do, as always. It's easy to do in any corner. Now, fortunately, guys, I do have a problem with the recordings at the moment in Gran Turismo. Obviously, making the transfer from very different games. I do not have game audio, so we've just got this track repeating over and over again here. Around the final corner, a little bit of a wiggle on the exit. This car, it's not necessarily understeer because it's generally pretty good. But certainly wiggles at exit. It's going to be a 132.347, and we're going to decide that's enough. 132.347, there it is. That's going to be enough to put us, what, P11 maybe? I can't remember. This was a while ago. It's going to be P11. Okay. Now, out of 14 cars, that's not too bad. It wasn't a very good lap. There's so many spots I could improve, and to be honest, I was just hoping for a good race because I was like, okay, I want to make a video on this. But I didn't know how to do standing starts. So we got a terrible start and overtaken by pretty much everyone immediately. So a lot of carnage just immediately. Like it's something I'd never had to do, a standing start. And then getting distracted by being confused by the standing start, I just go... Well, I overshoot the first corner. Trying to work out the corner. We do have the soccer on behind me right now, which you cannot see. And then it's all getting a bit wild. Now that guy right there, who actually, the guy we had a bit of a battle with later on, but we'll get to that. Now, there was a bit of a bug. I don't know if it's a bug or just something the game decides recently. There's been a lot of ghosting. But to be honest, I would have much rather the racing ahead of me go wheel to wheel, other than it being ghosted. But I don't know if Polyphony's going to listen to a guy with 110 subs. Now, there's a big collision there in front of us, and actually meant that I kind of got caught out by it and braked a little bit early, just trying to protect myself. Now, I would have much preferred there be a bit of contact there. You know, a bit of carnage is generally okay, but unfortunately, the game seems to disagree. And this guy with the Red Bull livery just phases through me, and then we end up phasing back through him. But yeah, I'm not sure about it. It's all over the place. But overall, a very, very chaotic first lap. And we started 11th and we're up in 9th. So it's not too bad. Now, braking just in between. That's a very clean move there from Malonki or whatever his name is. And this guy, you could kind of tell he'd done a few races in this category and probably had a very decent lap time. One that I feel like I could do, probably a 126 if I spent enough time around this track. We actually had a 5/10 gap to the guy behind. So after he went through... You know, wasn't really focused on the guys in front. I actually started to race a bit defensive. Tried to and settle myself in this position. But it's tricky to do, especially in a car that I don't feel comfortable with. Now, a guy just having a big old spin and then gets reset way back after a spin and then has another moment there in the exit of the chicane. This section of track we're here now, this fast-ish swooping section really does take a bit to get right, to try and position your car in the right spot. Now, once we get here, we're about a second in front of the guy behind, but I certainly feel like trying to just work. It's hard. It's weird. I'm just trying to work out here by just staying in a straight line to see how powerful the slipstream is, and it doesn't seem to be too powerful with the Super Formula cars. And there was a big old incident happening right there, and then he's going to be the main guy that we're going to try and target ourselves against. Malunky, or whatever his name is. Monkey. And then he swaps positions with the Japanese driver. And into the chicane, I was left the inside for them and actually ended up running into the back of me, then ghosts. So puts them further back. And I was very confused on why they weren't coming at me again as we come through the final sector of the track. And they're swapping positions there. And I'm starting to work out that there's actually a bit of a battle going on behind me. So after the penultimate, or not the penultimate, the final, it actually really, yeah, they're battling back there basically. And in front, you can kind of see, you can see both the cars where they are, kind of in an equal distance both ways. So I feel comfortable to maybe try and start learn the track and just keep getting consistent lap times. Now, the first lap, always going to be a little bit inconsistent, but the last two laps, 1:31.5 and 1:31.7. So, you know, a few tenths difference, but generally not going much quicker. And the quickest laps are 1:23. So, you know, I'm a fair way off Tom. And we had a big moment there on the final corner that actually, made me nearly, or so far, haven't lost a position to the Japanese driver behind. Just trying to keep a good eye on him. I'm going to try and take the corner as I would. Try and break it just a little bit later than him, but, you know, play it safe, and he sends it down the inside. Now, there's actually a bit of contact, which I did not mean to do. I really don't like having contact with other drivers. Trying to keep it all wheel to wheel, but contact free, and unfortunately, in this case, that does not happen. Now, this battle's going to unfold as in front of me and behind me. Now, he's got a bit of clean air. He can kind of just drive Malunky, or whatever your name is. Like, dyslexia, I'm probably struggling to pronounce it, or just understand the word. But the gap is coming down behind dramatically. Those numbers are not settled, and he is coming. But we're setting ourselves on the battle with this Japanese driver. Now, Guy actually just leaves the lobby there. I'm going to decide to try and send it down the inside late on the brakes, but fortunately, once again, it's just ghosted. And it kind of ruins... Now, it was a really good battle, nonetheless. This is probably the greatest battle I've had since I've got my simulator set up back. But fortunately, it doesn't feel like a great battle. Now, I'm going to try and send it down the inside here and end up ghosting through. Now, a bit of wheel-to-wheel contact, which I was hoping to see a little bit more of. I just kept getting ghosted, and he got ghosted. But left him the inside. Just enough room. Actually get a bit of contact on the exit of the corner. And that hasn't really set me up great for the straight. So, at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm racing this Japanese guy to the flag. We're on the final lap. I'm going to send it down the inside, and I'm not going to let him get away. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and go late on the brakes and send it down the inside. Now, I actually pull out of it. But then once I notice I'm ghosted, I just decide to go straight through him. And unfortunately, that's just not how I want this racing to go. I was hoping to have a much better battle than that. And a guy actually who was just ahead of me decides to go bye-bye. I think he must have had a moment or had to go be called to dinner. This was about 6:30. It's 9 o'clock right now. Late night edit, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, we've got a big gap in front. So we're full focused on going defensive. Actually goes out to a second, nearly a second anyway. Now, I'm going to take this corner as normal. I'm not going to leave any room down the inside, obviously, when you're a second back. But it just weirdly ghosts me all the time. It's very confusing. I haven't seen it happen. These are D lobbies. Now, fortunately, my safety rating is actually normally an S. But it is downgraded since I've left a lot of the recent races because I choose to race at a really bad time and I have to go do other things. Anyway, we come down into the final corner. And we believe we're actually going to come away with P8. Now, I think we probably could have been aiming for P5 to 4. I felt like I was kind of on that pace with 1:31's, quickest lap being, quite quick as we weave around. But yeah, I certainly felt like I could, be a bit further up, but we end up getting P8. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.